friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you're enjoying the instruction that I'm giving you. So today I'm going to be talking about the ideal warm-up routine for beginners. So if you participated in my free practice reboot challenge, you know that there are 3 ideal phases for your practice session. The first is warm-ups. The second is the building time, which is where you practice the hard parts in your repertoire. And the third is the performing time, where you run through your repertoire straight through, no stopping. So for the warm-ups, I recommend having it be about 10 to 20% of your total practice time. So if you're going to practice for an hour that day, your warm-ups should be about 10 to 20 minutes. Warm-ups should include a mix of right hand exercises, left hand exercises, and scales. So let's start with right hand exercises. I recommend picking about 2 to 3 in areas that you need to work on. So things such as pinky strength, flexibility, wrist flexibility, things like that. If you go check out my Instagram at Suzuki Violin Teacher, I have tons of exercises on there. And then if you purchase my complete bow technique manual course, I have even more exercises there for everything that you could need in the right hand. A link to that course will be down below. So I'm going to share with you the right hand exercises that I do every day. So this first one I call in and out. So I take my hand right here. I basically extend out with all my fingers so that they're straight, and then contract back in. Really good one for finger flexibility. If you're struggling with pinky strength, here's a really good exercise for you to incorporate in your warm-ups. Place your bow on your opposite shoulder. Press down with your pinky so that the bow comes up, and then allow the bow to come back down to your shoulder, feeling that resistance in the pinky the whole time. I also like to incorporate some bow control exercises. The first one that I do is I put my metronome on at 40 and try to see how many clicks I can get in one bow. Another one that I do for bow control and tone is to place my metronome at 50, basically go up and down each string 4 clicks per bow, trying to keep an even tone throughout. So if you're a beginner, I recommend picking things that you want to work on. Maybe you want to work on your pinky strength, and maybe you want to work on your tone. So then I would probably do those pinky push-up exercises and maybe some open strings, trying to keep your tone consistent throughout. Next, let's move on to left hand exercises. So I always start my warm-up session with Schrodiak number 1. If you have never played this or practiced this, this is an awesome exercise for so many things. It helps you develop your hand frame, helps you develop your intonation, helps you get that 4th finger strong, and helps you play faster. So highly, highly recommend. It's on imslp.org if you've never practiced it before. Another really good left hand warm-up is Kreutzer number 2. That is also on IMSLP if you are curious. I also have a left hand technique course where I share many more warm-up ideas that will also be linked down below. So after you've completed about 2 to 3 exercises for your right hand and 2 to 3 exercises for your left hand, it's time to move on to scales. Now, I can't stress to you how important it is to practice your scales. Scales help us with so many things: intonation, tone, shifting, vibrato. The list really goes on and on. I really feel like scale practice is extremely personal. So I'm going to tell you how I practice my scales, and then I'll give a shortened version for those of you that don't have 30 minutes to spend on your warm-up. So first, I practice my scale with the drone, focusing on the intonation, of course. Then I take the drone off, still focusing on that intonation. Then I practice in staccato, then I practice martelé, and then I perform the acceleration exercise, and then I practice in double stops. If you're a beginner, I'd recommend picking 1 scale to work on per week, maybe even more than a week, depending on how confident you are in that scale and how long you've been playing that scale. I change my scales every week. So first, I would definitely practice it with a drone or a tuner, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Long bows, and I have my students practice scales 1 note per bow, 2 notes slurred, and then 4 notes slurred, all at 60 with metronome. And then you're ready to begin practicing your pieces. So just to sum up, ideal beginner warm-up routine, 2 to 3 exercises for the right hand, focusing on areas that you want to improve on. 2 to 3 exercises for the left hand, just to get it warmed up. And then about 5 to 10 minutes of scales, practicing with a drone and or tuner, then playing with your metronome, 1 note per bow, 2 notes per bow, and 4 notes per bow.